Starfleet Underground. Every week, we'll take a look at the latest Star Trek news and then check out a current or classic episode of Star Trek. Give diplomacy a swift kick in the rear. Exactly how fast does Burnham's hair grow, and does Book do her makeup? Is cake eternal, or is it just a lie? And where do we find some deep space? We're joined by one of the marks from the Disco Fever podcast, and I hear he's not human.
Hey, so you're telling me that we have a Jem'Hadar on board? Seriously? Oh, the light's on. Okay, hold on. Good morning, good afternoon, and good day, everyone. Thank you for coming back here to Starfleet Underground, where I thought we're always cloaked, but it looks like we weren't cloaked there for a moment, and we have a visitor that came on board. There's internal scans is telling me it's a Jem'Hadar, and luckily we've had peace with the founders, so we're going to see what's up with that for a second here. However, let me go ahead with the intro. Wait, there he is. We're going to allow him to introduce. Hey, Jem'Hadar.
Good day. Hello, how are you?
A polite Jem'Hadar. Outstanding. Okay. Welcome aboard.
I've got to be polite. We're running low on Ketrasil White, so I'm in urgent need of some more, please.
I'll replicate you some here in a moment.
Amazing.
A Jem'Hadar with an accent. This is so cool.
Even better. Prime Jem'Hadar.
Wow. Welcome aboard. Now, wait, I just pulled you up on the computer here, and it looks like you also have a podcast you put out through the wormhole.
We do.
Tell us about yourself. Introduce yourself.
Well, thank you guys. I appreciate the invitation from across the pond in the UK. My name is Mark Latham, and I am one of the co-founders of the Pod Station, and we put out a variety of different podcasts. I think you guys have probably come across us through the Gamma Quadrant into the Beta Quadrant via the Pic-Hard show, Pic-Hard Talk podcast. I think, was that what you listened to?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
We do another one called Disco Fever and another one called The Film Podyssey. And these touch upon mostly Trek and film and TV to cover all of the things people love. So thank you for the invitation.
Glad to have you.
Outstanding. I mean, I've never come across such a polite Jem'Hadar. This is awesome. I'm going to have to talk to you afterwards because that guy who didn't kill Worf, I got to find out if you're related to him because he was really cool. I was disappointed when he got disintegrated.
It probably was some bloodline.
Outstanding. Next, we have our science officer.
Hi, I'm Heather. I'm the science officer. And Captain, guess what? I'm dressing up all the Tribbles in Halloween costumes. Okay, so I got a space astronaut right there. I got a witch. I got a zombie. I got a Frankenstein. What am I missing? Oh, I'm missing a ghost. Okay, I'm going to go grab a bed sheet, cut a couple holes in it, and I'll see you in a moment.
That explains the pointed-headed Tribble I saw in the galley.
Yes,
okay.
Just be careful of the one that I gave teeth.
What?
Well, that's the one that I saw Patrick was trying to use as a alarm dart. Speaking of Patrick.
Hello, everyone. I'm Patrick. I'm the liaison for foreign species. I'm the computer tech, and I'm also number one. Welcome aboard.
Thank you.
And we have also our illustrious winner of the O'Brien Award, our engineer.
Really, it's not that big of a deal.
It's really not.
It looks really nice on the shelf.
It looks really freaking cool on the shelf.
Hi, everyone. I'm Rocky, the engineer, and, just getting used to the new ship still. Somebody installed the auxiliary power the wrong way, so we had to go auxiliary power last week and flipped it on, and it shorted the whole thing out, and I was like, oh, God, what happened? And, yeah, some dork at the Utopia Planitia put it in backwards.
Seriously?
Hired help, man.
Know better. I
yeah.
know.
Oh, my God.
Don't outsource.
It must have been a rookie.
Something, yeah. Fortunately, we had a spare standing by, so we could fix it, but it took a little bit.
Well, it's a brand new ship. We should have a lot of spares.
Lots of spares.
And I'm a little upset because a lot of the little plastic wrappers, somebody's been going around peeling them off. I'm not pleased by that. So, but it's still beginning to lose that new Starship smell. Anyway, we're going to continue on here today. Wait. The little console light just went off to remind me. Today's show is being brought to you by Section 31. And we're going to jump right into corrections. Any corrections, Patrick?
I did not receive any communications through subspace, So as far as I can tell, we managed to pull off another flawless episode.
Outstanding. Just don't embarrass me in front of the Jem'Hadar, okay? So
well, you do that all by yourself, so I don't have to,
you're lucky this is on a tight beam, so there's that. We're going to go here with news. Anybody's got any news of the week, Heather?
Yep. So, first of all, in honor of Halloween, I have the top 10 Star Trek episodes which were inspired by Halloween movies. We're going to put the link out on social media so you could see the entire list, but I just want to name a couple real quick. So, the episode that is most like The House on Haunted Hill is Cat Spa, which is the original series. They also have a Night of the Living Dead type of movie, which was Star Trek First Contact. Remember that Nosferatu, or I don't know, it was the vampire. Yes, that's how you say it. Thank you. So the one that closely resembles that is Star Trek Nemesis. For John Carpenter's The Thing, you have Empok Nor on Deep Space Nine. The TV show that's closest to it is The Thaw on Voyager. Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, it's Darkling, Voyager. And for Aliens, it's Discovery. Context is for Kings.
Cool.
Outstanding. And now our guest.
Well, actually, I have...
Jem'Hadar Mark.
Thank you.
You have any news for us?
More of an update for your listeners, actually. One of your podcasts mentioned the wonderful presentation pack Star Trek stamps that is being released by the Royal Mail.
Yes.
Bit of information just to kind of update that, really, is they're coming out and be officially available from the 13th of November. And they will be priced at £14.80, which I don't know that is in gold pressed latinum, but I'm sure you can do the conversion.
Cool.
That's good news because the artwork on that looks phenomenal.
Yes, well, I was having a look actually after you mentioned it on your show, and whoever's done the illustrations have put really to look amazing.
And that runs about a little over $18 American dollars.
Thereabouts, yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks for the translation there. You're actually earning your pay today.
As if I don't always. Come on.
Very cool.
You had one
and
job.
We have any...
I keep this thing running, man. I'm the computer tech, remember? Hello.
And explain to me how the Jem'Hadar got on board, even though he's a polite one, and I do enjoy him.
I am at the shields down.
Oh, point-to-point transport, that's all it was.
Number one is on top of things you're not even aware of.
Yes.
I can believe that.
It's part of your new ship you didn't even know existed.
I heard one of the things he was on top on last night.
Ooh.
Speaking of which, you have any news for us?
I do, but I have to get off of what I was on top of first.
Don't hurt anyone when you do.
Oh, now he's getting off. Great.
Let me do a dismount real quick here.
Oh, hang on.
Boom. Okay.
Have you got the Kleenex?
Oh, where'd he go?
You still there?
It's taking you that long to
He dismounted and he just fell right down. Where'd he go?
Okay, while he's trying to come back, I guess his partner didn't agree.
I accidentally hit the mute button when I dismounted.
Sure.
We've all been there. We've all been there.
Yeah.
That's because when you dismount, you put your hands in the air and you go, ta-da. So,
Score was a 10, yes.
tell us the news.
Okay, so there's a new book coming out by Una McCormick. It is called The Autobiography of Katherine Janeway, and it is available currently in hardcover and ebook. You can order it on Amazon, and there should be a paperback version sometime in summer 2021. There are no current plans for an audio version, but hopefully they can get one, and I'll get Kate Mulgrew to narrate it.
That would be cool.
Nice.
That would be really cool. And how about you, Rocky? You got any news for us?
Well, my news this week is a little bit fluffy because, not because the news wasn't hard, but because the news was the cat. The Grudge the cat has official Star Trek merchandise in the Star Trek shop. So if you go to shop.startrek.com, you search for Grudge the cat, I'm sure you'll come up with a couple t-shirts, a coffee mug, and they call it a Star Trek Discovery Grudge standee, which looks like a entertaining piece of cardboard printed as a cat. But so Grudge has gotten the merchandising already.
I love me some pussy merchandise.
Is a coffee mug just full of hair?
Yeah, it might be. It very well might be.
Anyone who owns a cat, your house stinks. Just telling you that.
You have to say Grudge with the proper respect. She's a queen, you know.
I've heard the rumors.
So am I, but that's beside the point.
Here we go. Back in the room.
Okay.
You need to get Mountain back on, I think.
Exactly.
Okay, now we've done our news. We've done our correction. Now comes the most fun part. Did you all see the episode?
Wait a minute, there was an episode?
Yes.
Squee!
Oh my God, it was so good. I'm sure there are going to be people out there they hate it, but we're not talking to them. It was such a good episode. We're going to start off with first our recap. Heather?
Aye, aye, Captain.
First off, it's only one eye. We're not a pirate. No one's dressed as a pirate here on the ship. So this was the only time you could have done that and get away with it. But you're not dressed as a pirate either.
I am technically dressed as a pirate, but
You're not dressed.
That's because you always play with your peg leg. Okay.
well, at least I have one to play with.
So give us a start up there.
So today's episode is Star Trek Discovery Season 3, Episode 3, People of Earth. This first aired October 29th, 2020 on a Thursday, and it was directed by Jonathan Frakes.
Yay, Frakes.
Sweet. So the teaser is Reunited. We start with a history lesson about what happened between 2255 to 3188. One new piece of information is that dilithium dried up around 2957 and the Federation was experimenting with other fuel sources. After Michael arrived, she becomes a courier in order to search for an answer to why the burn happened, why the Federation collapsed, as well as search for discovery. A year later, they're all reunited, and during an update meeting, Michael says that she found an audio file from 12 years ago from someone on Earth. Discovery's new mission is to go to Earth and investigate, but they need a captain. Who will it be? Saru, of course, and Michael is his number one. Engage.
Reunited 'cause it feels so good. No? Anyone? No?
Okay.
No. I'll get my coat.
I could do that.
Well, I like the passage of time that we saw based on Michael's hair.
Yes.
I thought that
love
was interesting.
The hair. Let's just address the hair, people.
Oh, she's so gorgeous.
If you can grow your hair that quickly in a year, what are you using?
I have.
Behave.
I have. I have had my hair like super, super short about her length, and I've grown it to about where her length is in a year.
Without a weave.
Without a weave.
Really?
Like my real hair.
I've learned not to question a woman's hair.
Yeah, don't question
I
my
can
woman's
question
hair.
it because I'm in the UK and I've not met you in person, so I will continue this line of
I have
questioning.
pictures.
No.
I have pictures on social media for proof.
Well, okay, thank you for sharing.
Also, it depends on what you eat. I grew up in a house full of women, and I know depending upon the vitamins out there that they have, it could wind up getting your hair to grow really super fast. Any woman who's been pregnant took prenatal vitamins will also attest to that. Your hair starts growing like a weed. So, but it was nice seeing a different thing in the final.
Is that what happened to you, Nathan?
Pregnant.
You know what?
We're not talking about his hair, are we?
Yeah, we're talking about Nathan's fro, man.
I'm gonna lock you in the sonic shower.
Promises.
I love Nathan's new hairdo. I think it's awesome, Captain. You need to keep it.
It's the COVID fro.
And we've all got COVID haircuts right going on.
I lost a stylist in it the other day, so we're not going to talk about that. But I like the final touch of when they go through all the hair iteration. You notice at the final touch when she obviously at the end of the year has become a badass courier. She added makeup because she had that makeup look. So it was pretty cool. It was nice seeing that.
How believable is that? It's not very believable, is it? Let's be honest. Makeup and weaves? Oh, come on. 8 hours in a chair of hair.
She can create matter out of nowhere. She could create matter out of nothing. Maybe Grudge the cat helped her.
That would be so nice to be able to create makeup out of nothing and just, I'm out of makeup. I'll just create some real quick. That would be so awesome.
Maybe in the 12 months she's been growing hair, Booker's been doing hair and makeup lessons.
Could be, yeah.
Because to get her braids done so nice and tight braids doesn't take 5 minutes.
No.
Oh, that's maybe Brooke might have done that. And maybe he also sat her down and says, look, girl, what you need is a smokey eye.
I would love that. I'd love to see
them.
I'd love to see them sharing makeup tips.
That would be
cool. Now those mugs.
Then that would mean the book was on my team then.
He could be going both teams.
Well, they are friends.
He could be a switch hitter. You don't know.
Anything can happen in the 32nd century.
Right.
This is true. Those mugs, though. Oh my God! Somebody's gonna have to sell those, or we're gonna have to pick them up, or talk to a friend.
Oh, you know
Love those mugs. Love those mugs. But it was nice. I agree.
When Burnham was talking about being a courier, and someone handed her this silver little thing with the Starfleet registry, did you see the number?
Yeah, it was NCC
47.
4774.
That's why it looked familiar.
It's the Star Trek number.
That's why it looked familiar. I just turned 47, so this number is really, really getting annoying now.
Do
you
you
know where
guys
this
know?
originates from?
That's what I was about to ask.
Heather, carry on. Filthy Heather, crack on.
Do you want me to answer that?
Yes.
You can.
Okay, so the origin of it is typically 47 originated from the number 42 and Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, where 42 is the answer to life, the universe, and everything. But Rick Burnham joked that 47 was just 42 adjusted for inflation.
Correct.
And it's a magic number. People who are big Star Trek fans, shields are always down to 47%. And you'll see the number constantly throughout the shows. So that was a pretty good catch on that, Heather. I saw the number, but it didn't occur to me why it was familiar.
And also 74. So they've included the 2 on the registration of the ship.
That's pretty cool. That, again, I wonder if we looked it up. Is that an actual NCC number? Well, it's in the future, so they kind of skirting the canon there.
But also, it could have been a bit longer, the number, because it was blocked by the other courier's
Their hand,
hand. Yeah.
Well, very true.
Very true.
And anybody else for this beginning section, or should we have Heather jump on the next one?
The thing that hit me, because I'm a video nerd, is their holodeck that she was doing the workout in, the exercise.
Oh my
had
God,
super
yes.
slow-mo mode. Really super slow-mo.
I want that video game. If I could be in a video game like that and kick ass like that and use swords and weapons and oh my God, I want that video game.
You actually forgot that we do have it already. I never told you the
It's
code.
the new ship.
Yes,
I love
and it's
this
on
new
there.
ship.
When you go in to do the fighting, you have to tell it activate Matrix mode.
Yes.
So
I
it's
know
like
what
the
I'm doing
Matrix.
today.
Everything is all slow-mo and kind of fuzzy and stuff like that. So activate Matrix mode, Keanu Reeves special, and you got it.
Well, they
Oh,
did.
so excited.
You've just got to be very careful when you take Heather to the Ren Fair. Just be very careful. You keep an eye on her. She might go kill somebody.
Again.
Yeah.
Yeah, again. But hey, at least you clean up as soon as you walk out of the holodeck.
Yeah, well, that's instant. Yeah.
I am not cleaning up any more holodeck canisters. Nope.
Oh,
You
come
don't
on.
have to. The biofilters are actually done by maintenance crew now, so you're out
good.
of that.
And
Yes.
they're brand new. They're totally 100% efficient right now.
I love our
Yes.
lower decks.
Did you notice they did another slow-mo when Michael was walking with Saru in the hallway and the young ensign gets off the turbo lift and he's like, "Welcome
Yeah.
back, Commander." And it was a slow-mo shot, and the look on Michael's face, I didn't quite
That
get.
was a weird little scene because it was like, where'd that come from? It was like, who the fuck was that? It's like,
Yeah. And then she's got this look on her face like, what?
No, the reason, because she's been out, you got to realize that she's been on her own, not used to any title, not used to anything for a year. And for someone to say commander and talk to her like she's been there the whole time.
Yeah.
Like for them, she's been gone only for a couple of moments. But for her, it's been a whole year. And it's kind of like also when you're in the service for a long time, you're called by your last name. No one never calls you by your first name. So it's always like Adams, or it would be always, no matter what your name. So when you get home and someone says your first name, like, "Hey, Nathan," and you look at him like Obi-Wan Kenobi, that's a name I haven't heard of in a long time.
Hey, don't be crossing streams here now.
She's probably been a bit embarrassed because she's kind of got over the crew within that year.
Yep.
And been focusing on makeup tips and hairstyles for about 12 months.
Indeed, she has been.
So I love the quote where Stannis was like, "That's impossible. Nothing could affect all the lithium all at once."
Oh,
And
yeah.
Georgio's like, says the man who jumps the starship through a mushroom space.
Yeah, it's like, come on, you're the guy that does this shit all the time. Of course there's a way to do this.
Yeah, you do impossible shit every day.
I love
Georgio was on
Dildo
fire as
connectors.
usual.
Say
What did you say,
again?
Mark?
Sorry, I said with his dildo connectors to attach to the, what is it, myosyndrial network or whatever it is.
Mycelial network.
Mycelial network, yeah.
That makes him ambidextrous because he has them on both arms.
He does, just to get full penetration.
You've got to get the double
Right.
going. Yeah.
Oh, all the time, yeah. Don't miss out on the double.
Double-headed dildos for the win.
Woohoo.
Says you.
Yeah. Well, you know.
Okay.
Oh
Gotta do something when you're in deep space.
Take it.
That's
Oh my God.
not
Take it.
Image I want.
Deep space? Deep space? Okay.
You're going real deep there.
I saw this video. It was called Deep Space Nine, but it wasn't the show I was expecting.
No, we're getting into backwards human centipede territory. So,
Oh, my God.
Massive void.
so
Okay.
please continue.
Okay, so we are moving on to Act 1, The Quest. Before they travel to Earth, Tilly wishes that she can find something on Earth that she recognizes. Book is beamed aboard Discovery, and Georgio greets him with a shotgun and a threat not to go near her daughter. In the ready room, Michael talks Saru into loading their dilithium stores onto Book's ship, which is stored in the shuttle bay where it can be cloaked with newer technology. After that, they make the jump, and the people of Earth automatically see them as a threat, and Discovery is met with suspicion, hostility, and force. That's the Earth we know and love. There's no place like home.
But cake is eternal, don't forget.
Cake is a lie!
I heard the cake was a lie, but yeah,
Cake is a lie!
it's also eternal.
It's an eternal lie.
And there were dots!
I've told Mary Berry she would say cake is eternal.
No, cake's a lie.
Is it turtle? Cake is a turtle. Cake is a turtle.
It's a turtle cake.
I love seeing dots, too.
This is going to be just a slight interruption. I just received breaking news on my terminal, and especially for you across the pond, you should be aware of this. Apparently, this morning, Sean Connery passed.
He did indeed, yes.
At
Oh my
90.
God, are you serious?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a shame.
Yeah, I went to check my iPad to make sure it had enough power so I can take notes, and the first thing that popped up was he passed away. So.
Oh, I haven't heard that yet.
Yeah.
Well, that
Yeah.
double O sucks.
Oh,
Yeah,
that
it
so
does.
sucks.
Yeah.
Damn.
So
Bit of a shock.
unfortunately, he should have beheaded the Kurgan, and because really expecting him to be a Highlander. Okay.
Safe travels to the Stovacor.
Yeah. To jump back into it, I'm sorry, it just knocked me for a loop here for a second.
Yeah, if you're not expecting that, it will. It's kind of a shock as if you're a 007 fan.
Yep. He's the first Bond. Well, let's rewind. I'm wrapping my head back, and this was good coffee today. Okay. The look that Georgio winds up giving Book, again, you see, she's the protective mother. She's like, what are your plans with my daughter? Look. And she really is like, have you diddled her yet?
It put him right on the defense because she's not my girlfriend.
But it's just like, going to a house and the father showing up with the shotgun being like, you ain't touching my daughter.
Oh, you still do that, do you? Okay.
He's like, no, I haven't diddled her yet. Yeah, we do. It's like, yeah.
Yeah, I haven't done anything.
It's like, no, I haven't touched her yet. I haven't diddled her.
Yeah,
No.
you're saying yet. Don't say yet. Yet is the wrong word to use.
Especially with Georgio.
I don't know. I think Book is really interested in his cat. He has another pussy on the side.
A massive pussy. Let's get that straight.
Massive
Right?
pussy. He likes room. He likes space.
And lots of hair.
You could yodel in that pussy.
Yeah, it would sound muffled.
Like throwing a hot dog down a hallway.
He likes furry pussies, not shaved pussies.
Well, it's certainly that one from the 70s.
You didn't see the scene where when Grudge was like, meow, and Book was like, oh, baby, don't talk dirty.
Oh, so he
Filth.
really does.
Or
too
before
funny.
people realize that's canon, that was made up, that was not on the show before you start trying to rewatch it, figure out where it was.
I think I saw it in Wikipedia. I think it was true.
Oh, if it's in Wikipedia, then it's always true.
There you go.
One thing they had on the show that I thought was funny was at the very beginning when Tilly is there and she's sitting there like messing with all the medals and the trophies. Dude, those look like refrigerator magnets. Future medals and trophies are refrigerator magnets. I'm just saying.
Those were the badges of all the people who had died.
Not many then.
Is that
If I'm
what
not
that
mistaken.
was?
Yeah,
I believe
they were
so.
that was a memorial war.
I thought they were like trophies and medals and everything.
No.
It's
So it was like a memorial.
yeah, it's your
Yes.
memorial wall. the corner of the ship. Yeah, it was kind of a sad moment. That's why Tilly was really emotional right there, because she was
didn't
like,
get that.
Oh yeah, no, that was a big moment.
Okay.
Yeah.
They could have made more of that then, because I didn't pick up on that, if I'm being honest.
It was very subtle. They didn't hit you over the head with it, but it was really subtle. Yeah.
All those medals you saw were people who were on the ship that died, and
Yes.
that's all of. Wow, that was.
But
a lot
it's
of
also
people.
it extends beyond that, because they just lost everybody 1,000 years ago. So that's I'm surprised she's holding it together as well as she does.
Well, that's what she says. She's like, what happened? And, they woke up and they had coffee and they went to work and, they had children. She's like, they had these lives and now they're gone for centuries. And she's just like, she's really, you can tell she's having a hard time grasping that concept that, they're just gone,
Well, that's what we talked about the last show, about the implication of everybody and have that's familiar is gone.
Not just that, but it's like they're gone, their children's gone, their children's gone. Like
everybody.
If you had like a little 2-year-old baby, it's like their grandparents and dead and,
10 generations at least.
Yeah.
I had to go and watch Titanic to cheer myself up.
Right.
I'm sorry. I can't watch a DiCaprio movie and I just can't.
It brings the tears, doesn't it?
But in wrong ways.
Wait, the acting, or just because it's a good film?
Do you mean because of his acting or?
I'm not a fan of him.
Well, you know what?
Not in that role. I like DiCaprio. That role is just kind of, come on, really?
Not in any role.
Well, let's be honest. Any transportation that he's getting on, I am not getting on. Let's just say that now.
Exactly. I will wait until the next bus. Thank you.
Absolutely. I'll take the next one. Thank you.
Well, Tilly makes the observation that Michael seemed lighter somehow. And you could tell by the way she has carried herself and just her general demeanor that she's not the Michael Burnham we know from season 1 and 2.
No, she's got the whole universe lifted off her shoulders. She just come to accept everything, and she's not carrying that stress anymore.
The question I wrote down, and I don't know if it was something Tilly said that made me write this, but did Burnham let us go?
Yes.
Yes. So Burnham has also gotten through this sudden loss that they're still dealing with, and and then has Burnham moved on? It's like, is this just kind of a quick visit and she's gone again?
Well, you see in the montage at the beginning, don't you, that she's doing all of the different training and things, and I just wondered whether she'd compartmentalized the 12 months focusing on the single mission to rebuild the Federation from the ground up. And I suppose, I can't speak to this, but probably Nathan's got a better experience in this area, but anyone who's trained for singularly one specific task has to compartmentalize, has to put stuff away to be able to focus on what the job is at hand.
You have to. You learn to put things in a box, and you try not to take it out.
But whose box are we putting it in?
They're not yours, because it's too much room. But
can we put it in a circle? How about an oval?
Well, last time somebody put something in a box, they escaped. I think, was it Patrick said, does it smell like chloroform to you?
He's done that. It does help. The only time it happens if you're alone in the dark by yourself and you allow the thoughts, then all the stuff in the box can come out if you're not careful. People who have dealt with bad problems with that, you tend to be worked really hard. The reason why is because this way they fall asleep as soon as their head hits the pillow. They don't have time for their brain to engage and think about those things. And she didn't, because she had book there the whole time. She's running around with a singular mission. What the hell happened with the burn?
I've got a theory on that, actually.
Well, Tilly did ask her, said, you let us go, didn't you? And you can see the pain in Michael's eyes because she doesn't want to answer yes.
Yeah, well, she thought they were never coming back.
Well, yeah, after a year, I personally would have still probably held out a little bit of hope that I would have seen him again, but, that's just me.
It would have been a small hope.
No, I was just going to add that maybe I was spoiled because I've seen too many time travel movies, but Temple Mechanics, maybe the 12 months all she's been working on is the fact that she can return back to the point she left without creating any branch timelines.
Just go pop back in when you're done with it.
Yeah, so for her, it's kind of, yes, there's that loss, but it's temporary whilst she rebuilds the Federation in that timeline for then to jump back in, because we seem to have got the Spore drive working again, which was an interesting thing, because I thought whether it was due to legal issues.
I thought it was a no-no.
I thought you weren't allowed to use your dildo arm things because it was upsetting the network, but also external to that, there was some legal wranglings about who came up with what I call the giant dust mite.
The tardigrade.
Mark and I Mark and I on the Disco Fever podcast talk about this all the time, but apparently there was a legal wrangling external to the show that they couldn't use that or something. But I was under the impression that they weren't allowed to space hop, as it were. But in terms of a kind of a easy way to explain how they can get to the Alpha Quadrant, they're clearly using the Spore Drive, aren't they?
Well, I mean, but it was 2185 when they weren't allowed to use it. They're now in 3189. So
yeah, maybe the mycelial network's all built back up and ready to go.
Right. After 1,000 years.
But yeah, I was wondering that too, because I'm like, what are you guys doing? You're not supposed to use that thing. Now we got to use, but they can't use warp drive. So let's cheat a little bit. Maybe that's what it is.
Well, that's fine. I'll just start whale hunting again.
Yeah, exactly.
Also, a little bit of an update. That court case was settled. It went against the person who said that he tried to sue Star Trek for using a tardigrade, and they said you can't copyright an alien. You can't copyright the animal itself. So the guy lost the case.
It's a bit daft anyway, isn't it? Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, totally.
Well, I mean, if you look at some of those lawsuits, you would think that's pretty daft too. Some of the lawsuits out there are pretty crazy.
Having seen some Netflix dramas, your legal system is absolutely bonkers.
Yes. Yes, it is.
We have a lot of bonkers around here.
It is
I'm
insane.
terrified to visit the States simply because I might do something and be in prison for the rest of my life.
Right.
You don't even have to do anything.
That's even worse.
We can do a whole show on that.
Absolutely.
You don't even want to hear the stuff that goes on when I get called into HR. When we get called in because of this show, when they sit there and you say, you can't tell Heather that she smells good because then she could say, why are you smelling me? Or you look good today. She could say, well, Nathan was looking me up and down and it made me feel uncomfortable. He noticed what I wore. So you can't even say that.
Well, she's filthy Heather. Of course you're going to look her up and down.
So I'm not allowed to rummage in her bins then?
No, they used her as an example, but they don't know her clearly. But that's the thing they gave. But you can still use the warp drive. They have enough dilithium to use it, but they wanted to get to where they wanted to go. So that's why they use the Spore Drive. And I don't want to jump ahead. I think that's our next section on there.
Oh, sorry.
No, that's okay.
Yeah, we need to speed this up a little bit because we only got half an hour left and we still got a whole lot to cover.
Good point.
Yeah, so
One
go
thing,
ahead.
before we go on to the next one, just one more thing real quick. When the Earth Captain, Nadoya, right? Or Nadoy. How do you say
Did
it?
she come in that section?
Nadoye. Okay.
Yeah, she's in this section, yes.
Okay.
When she comes on and she comes on the view screen, she looks around at the view screen. She's like, what the hell is this? Oh, this is, quaint. This is real quaint. Like, what the hell? I just had to bring that up.
No, that was a good moment because what you're not using instant holograms to the head. What technology are they using now, 1,000 years in the future?
Oh, wait.
You know, it must automatically try to convert so that way it interfaces with whatever the ship has. So for it to not do what she was expecting it to do, and then she has this view screen. I bet that was a huge surprise.
Well, it's like when you video chat with somebody and they come in a 4x3 box and sideways, and like you're not even just portrait mode, you're 4x3. I mean, what's going on over there?
So basically, her saying this is quaint was really good when she should have been like, "What the fuck?"
or like you're a CNN anchor and you start to wank on screen.
Oh my god,
that's quaint.
Yes, that as well. You went there.
Apparently, so did he.
Again.
Yeah, and he got suspended for it. But we also get introduced here to the United Earth Defense Force,
yes.
the EDF.
Yep.
But that should have been called WTF because you get there thinking it's going to be the Federation. And all of a sudden you get these people talking about, wait, what? Who are you?
Yeah, and they just leave immediately. You are not welcome here. Like, well, okay, fine.
That's a kick in the pants. It's like you get home from leave, you make it to your house, your key works, you're walking through the door, and there's a bunch of people there holding guns at you. Go, who the fuck are you? Why are you in our house? It's like, what? This was my house? No, it's not. So it really that was a shock.
That would be a bad day.
Yeah, it was. I mean,
so Patrick, if you could stop doing that'd be great.
Yes, Patrick, don't do that anymore.
It is scary at 12 o'clock at night.
Okay.
Just spoon me. It's fine.
I like to creep around at 12 o'clock at night anyway. That's why, okay.
Oh my god.
Okay, next section, Heather.
Next next section. Going on to Act 2, The Search. Even though Saru provided a good cover story, the United Earth Defense Force beams aboard and searches the ship. We meet Adira, or Adara, however you want to say it, a young 16-year-old who likes to cause trouble. Saru and Michael have a meeting with the captain, Nadoya, and learns that Earth is no longer a part of the Federation. They are a self-sustaining planet that guards against frequent raider attacks. Michael asks about the audio from 12 years ago, and Nadoya informs him that the guy died 2 years ago. Just then, a group of raiders attack, and Nadoya tries to leave to deal with them, but her and her crew can't beam out. Nadoya accuses Discovery of sabotage.
So again, here we have Star Trek Discovery with another first. They had the first, openly gay couple with Stamets and Culber. And now we have the very first non-binary actor, Blue Del Barrio, playing a non-binary character.
Yay!
So again, Star Trek is at the forefront of equality and representation, and fuck yeah.
Fuck yeah.
They made a mistake, unfortunately, a little bit, because they kept referring to her as her when it should have been they.
Well, see, but the thing is, though, is we don't know that Adira is non-binary at this point. That
explains it.
As far as they're concerned, she's presenting as a female. So, and there was an article that I read that Blue Del Barrio did. They purposely did it that way, where you don't immediately know that she's non-binary, because when Blue got this role, she was still trying to figure it out. Well, they were still trying to figure it out themselves. So it was a growth process for the character and the actor.
Oh,
okay. Cool. Plus, she is 16 years old, too, so she's still young.
The thing that I liked about her character and is her as an actor is the controlled enthusiasm, looking at the technology and realizing it's like, oh, my God, this is a museum. You guys live in a museum. I thought that was so cool.
Museums are cool.
Yeah.
Museums are cool, but you don't necessarily want to live there, do you? I mean, maybe. Actually, I kind of think I do. I think that'd be fun to live in some museum. Just keep everybody out visiting during the day. That would creep me out.
Where they come alive at night.
Yeah,
exactly.
All the people there. Now, if she's a human and she can't connect with her... Oh, I'm sorry. If they are a human and they can't connect with the Trill partner, how the fuck did a 16-year-old get to be on the Earth Defense Task Force? They're 16.
Well, yeah, I think they know that they're Trill. So, but
they
don't know that they're Admiral Trill.
They can't connect to the Trill.
But Adira isn't Trill. She's Adira is human, and so we still don't know how she got the symbiote. But because
it's very interesting because I don't know that they're totally compatible with human.
No.
Well, I was going to ask the question, actually.
Yeah.
I was just going to ask in regards to Adira's character being a non-binary identity, how does that play into the fact that she's a Trill or they's a Trill and also human?
I think that's a great idea because a Trill is, the worm inside, it lives, from person to person to person to person, man, woman, it doesn't matter. So I think a non-binary person would fit a Trill perfectly.
Well, Trill is the species. The symbiote, I don't think the symbiote has a I don't think it has a species.
Do we just call it the worm?
Yeah, it's a Trill symbiote, but this Trill is the species who generally take on the symbiote. But Adira being human, they don't have the same makeup, I would ever.
Well, my complaint was that I don't see any spots. I'm missing the spots. Are the spots going to grow in?
No.
Because that's what I want. I want spots so badly.
No, as Patrick stated, that's a byproduct of the race of the people that normally take the symbiote.
Yeah, so it's the human's not going to get the spots.
That's the actual Trill race.
Yes. Okay.
Right.
Don't forget, Riker was a host to a Trill symbiote, wasn't he?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he didn't develop spots.
No, he didn't develop
spots.
spots.
The spots are specific to, because of what you've just said, the mechanism of becoming a surrogate or compatible for a host. I think the species that are brought up to be able to accommodate that are the ones with the spots.
Yeah,
okay.
That's correct.
Well, I miss spots.
and don't forget also, we did have a little interplay with that where Cisco used to call Jadzia old man.
Old man,
when it was Curzon. So
Now, in Deep Space Nine, when we watch the old Jadzia Dax episodes and she accesses her memories from her past lives, she actually had to work on that, right? Like, it wasn't something where she could just think and then she could just think about all the memories of the past lives. Like, she actually had to sit there and meditate and do stuff and, like, work at it, right? Am I remembering this correctly?
She learned how to do it properly, because if you remember the Trouble with Tribbles episode, the DS9 episode, where she talks about Bones and his hands, she was there even for him back then. So yeah, she accessed that flawlessly, but I do imagine it does take work.
Okay.
You know, so it was definitely interesting, because she said for whatever reason, maybe because she's not a Trill, they couldn't access, well, we're jumping ahead. So
well, you want to know how you access that? Give her some weird mushrooms.
Right? Who are you?
Oh no, have her. No,
Who are you?
No, they make them coffee.
Right. Have Heather make him coffee. Exactly.
There you go. That would do it.
Why'd you make bad coffee, Heather?
Oh, she.
Oh, let me make some coffee for you. I'll
No,
be right
don't
back.
take it.
Just beam it right across, yeah?
Yeah,
Awesome.
you'll be in hospital.
Because she's violent or because it's rubbish?
No, because you'll be tripping hard.
It's rubbish.
Right, okay.
We're speaking of weird mushrooms. Let me try these.
If it's not
and
rubbish, it's
these.
going to be.
Oh, and these are really cool mushrooms. I'll put these in here.
Nice.
Okay. Well, what about from this act? What about the revelation that Earth is no longer part of the Federation?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah,
That was nuts.
This Earth has it's gone a little too isolationist. This is what happens. This is what we were afraid of becoming isolationist. If you're in America and it's like, well, we're America, we can mind our own business, or we can take and be part of the world. So there's two thought processes to that, and it's more than just two, because there's a lot of variability within that. But still,
well, I think what this episode shows that it's very close-minded to think that way, because you have the Raiders who were their own people.
Yeah, and they didn't even know.
They didn't know. They didn't have communications.
It was very political, this episode, I felt.
Yeah, and very, the instant response is, no, don't talk to them. Don't talk to them. We don't talk to them.
Yeah.
I'm like, what do you mean? You can't even talk to them? It's just,
Very tribalistic.
it does not make sense.
Also, we could talk a little bit on flipping back to the beginning of that scene when they finally couldn't beam out, and she accused Saru of kidnapping some game. And a credit to Doug Jones as an actor, the look of indignation on his face is like, we're Starfleet. We don't play games like that. That was really...
Yeah, he was totally offended by that.
Doug Jones is an amazing actor.
Absolutely.
He did a really good job on that. And for them, there's this so kind of hostile and untrusting, kind of like the French. So,
Fantastic.
it was really kind of, it was definitely interesting.
There was a lot of suspicion, wasn't there?
And I don't mean that it's the French no hate mail. I don't mean collectively it's all the French. So
I don't know. I think you described Americans pretty well.
yeah, there you go.
Suspicious and everything, hostile.
There were kind of undertones of Brexit and COVID-19 and this tribalistic approach to the way humans are.
Tribalistic, that's the way to describe it.
Oh, and it was very, very sad, because you think about how the United Federation of Planets exist and how they were created and the mission statements of why they operate. It was just as soon as the Federation have gone, everybody's gone back to the way they used to be.
Yeah,
which was
it's mine.
It's sad, really.
I'm going to keep it for myself.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's sad.
But the reaction of, I think, when Book had to put on the uniform, I think that kind of tells, what does the Federation mean to a person from this time? Because he did not want to wear that uniform, although the zipper action was pretty hot.
It took him a while to put that top on. He was standing there watching Burnham get dressed for 5 minutes in his pants. I mean, there's a HR issue right there.
Hey, well, nobody was complaining about him being half naked, so,
I mean, he couldn't just walk around the ship like that, though. I mean, you'd be distracting everybody left and right.
When we start the clip, both of them already have their pants on, so we missed the best part.
It's the good part.
I'll speak to Jonathan Frakes for the director's cut.
right?
Which is with him no trousers, so that's even better.
The thing I also liked is that Saru in the beginning used to not trust Michael no matter what, told her even to her face didn't trust. But now you can see when she suggested get all of the lithium, put them on the ship, and we're going to hide it and we're going to cloak it. And he's like, I don't know if I like that idea, but I'm going to trust you. So that comes a long, long way and shows on their relationship now.
Only then to be upset by the fact that it doesn't go to the plan.
No.
So I think there's an interesting character development going on between Burnham and Saru, I felt.
Yes, for sure.
Really, really nice writing this time round.
Well, the development of everybody. I mean, Saru, from when we first meet him as this timid, meek Kelpian who thinks he's going to die at some point, to this powerful, authoritative, captain. And then Michael from the brooding, world on her shoulders to this new Michael. I mean, they've really done a really good job of moving these people along.
Yeah. So act number 3, Michael's plan. Michael grabs Book and they steal the ship with the dilithium on it without telling Saru their plans beforehand. Maybe because they figured out their plan about 5 seconds before attacking. Okay, good thing that these are really weak raiders. Michael and Book capture the leader and transport him back to Discovery, where they force the raider captain and Nadoya to talk about their feelings.
Ooh, it's a therapy session. Gross.
It was totally a therapy session.
It's like, no, you sit over there and you sit over there, and now we're going to talk this out.
And you are forced to talk this out.
You will get along with each other or else.
Or Georgio punching the balls.
Right.
There you go.
And that's what kicked it off. She literally started it with a kick in the ass.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Diplomacy is so slow.
Yeah.
It really is.
We would get so much agreed upon if somebody just punched somebody in the balls and went, right, let's get around the table.
That's right.
So
we need a Georgio in every big decision being made. We need a Georgio to help.
Yeah, absolutely.
Don't you know punching in the balls, that's the tactic to shut the person up so you could talk?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was a master sergeant that when I was in the service, he was something else. He used to have near his location a big ass gnarly looking club that he used to call his attitude adjuster. So anytime there was a disagreement and people didn't get right on board right quick, he's like, do you want me to get the attitude adjuster? So,
the SEAL.
Yeah. So she's definitely the attitude adjuster. She cut through all of that in a heartbeat.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
What do we think of the Mirror Universe Georgio in this?
I love her.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I love her so much.
She's no bullshit. She sees through everyone's, veneer, and she gets right to the point.
And she's so confident she can handle anything.
Yeah, nobody in this timeline is going to mess with her.
Do you think she's got a plan up her sleeves?
Yeah, and her wit. I really like how her wit really helps. She says it sarcastically, but it's still not hurtful in a way.
And did you guys notice the Easter egg where when Saru was quoting, Starfleet does not fire first, he was actually quoting Giorgio, but he was quoting the Prime Universe Captain Giorgio, not the Mirror Universe Giorgio.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. And it was in the very first episode of Discovery that she said that.
Ow, that's so funny.
Ow, my brain just exploded. Ow.
Yeah, mine too. You're right.
Your pants have exploded.
That was a really good catch.
Did your brain explode over there, Mark?
My trousers exploded.
Your trousers exploded.
Heather's on it.
If your trousers explode, you might want to dismount.
We'll speak afterwards, Patrick. We'll speak afterwards.
Yes, Ensign, do me a favor. When our guest leaves, I want you to go to the guest quarters over there and clean it up. Apparently, there was an explosion there. Also, bring your hazmat suit. I don't know about Jem'Hadar Spooge. Yeah. Okay.
There's Ketracel white everywhere.
That's some serious green. That's neon.
It looks like Ketracel white. That's what they splooge.
That's what they splooge. Yeah.
Apparently, they get sparkles. Apparently, they get sparkles in them.
Get your black light out.
Yeah.
Like it's a crime scene from CSI.
To kind of stay on track a little bit, because we're going off of the deep end, is to the fact that, again, Michael, even though a year has gone by, she still was able to touch that part of herself that knew that Saru would do the right thing.
Well, if you're touching yourself after a year...
Well, Book didn't touch her.
No.
Yeah, it's true.
Book
He was playing with his big pussy.
Exactly. He was too interested in his pussy.
In the Queen.
He could have watched. The
Queen
I
pussy.
mean, the censors rolling with that shit. You never know.
But Giorgio knows Michael. She knows that Michael's the unstoppable force, So she knows even though it seems like Michael's committing treason at this point with Book, with them taking all the lithium, Georgio's like, no, I know what she's doing. She's like, she's figured it out. You know, she's so freaking brilliant. I just love her.
Mm-hmm. There's something going on. She's planning something. There's a reason why she needed the aliens' massive visual
yes.
Eyes.
His episode, yeah, his eye. Well, his scope to see everything. There's a reason behind that. We'll find out what it is. But yeah,
I am so looking forward to seeing her in her own show. I really am looking forward to that show.
I prefer her as the mirror universe version of Georgio. I think there's a lot more development and broader scope to increase her likability.
I must admit, I really agree with you. I mean, she's so good as the mirror Georgio. It's such a perfect character. It's too much fun.
Mm-hmm. The reason is she's panto villain.
But yeah, but when she was originally, the very first Discovery episode where she's regular Georgio, it was so refreshing to hear that. She was very typical Star Trek captain, and it was very refreshing to hear that. And I was like, oh, I'm gonna miss this because they've changed her. But now I'm like, I'm all in on the bad girl. I like her.
Yeah, I think I like her better than the Prime Universe one.
Agreed.
And then the part where Michael and Book are about to take out the Raiders, and they're, looking at the Raider ships, and they're like, wow, these are really crappy ships. And they're trying to figure out what strategy to use. Michael says, we could do the red oxygen. And Book's like, absolutely not. How many times do you want me to get my nose broken? My whole face swelled up, and Grudge wouldn't look at me for days. I was crushed.
When your hairy pussy doesn't want to look at you.
Right? He was crushed.
And there will be days where your cat will be that way. It's so sad.
That's why him and Michael haven't done anything. He's into bestiality right there.
I am so glad that we're on a tight beam because I would get so called in on this episode. Oh my God. They would accuse me of corrupting a Jem'Hadar and accuse me of everything. So it definitely it showed that first I liked the synchronicity between Michael and Book because it shows how well they work together. And they were able to establish that by the banter of different scenarios that they've done before in the past. And that's kind of like almost like the Darmok, where you can say something and only people who've been there know exactly what you're talking about. So
that's what I got from that. Yeah.
When the wall fell. Yeah.
Yeah, like if I told Patrick, foot long after the convention, he'll know what that means.
And it has nothing to do with a sandwich?
It means a good time.
Yeah, see, but exactly, it goes with the sandwich. We go to Subway, but for someone out there would add all kinds of things. They wouldn't know what the hell that meant. So it was a nice way to establish a long-term relationship, I believe.
Yeah. Shall we move on to the next act?
Yeah.
Yes, we can.
Okay. Act 4, New Friends. So Nadoya and Wen are having an unsuccessful mediation until Georgio roughly removes Wen's helmet, revealing that he's human. We learn that the Raiders are just abandoned scientists who were on the moon Titan, and they have been trying to survive for years. Nadoya didn't realize this and is willing to begin trading essential items with the scientist. Problem solved, and the World Record Organization wants to add that to their book of the fastest mediation meeting in the history of mankind. Meanwhile, Stamets and Tilly figure out that Adira sabotaged the ship, and they want to know why. Apparently, she is fascinated with museums. She is also Admiral Tall, the one who originally sent the message. Apparently, even though she is human, she just joined with a Trill symbiont. However, she can't access her memories like normal Trills. But she does want to join Discovery on their mission. We say goodbye to Book and end this mission with a trip to the oldest tree on Earth. Luckily, it's located at Starfleet Academy.
Well, as per usual, Starfleet resolves a conflict between two peoples in grand Trek tradition. I mean, it was pretty quick, though. I mean, even for Trek standards, it was pretty. I mean, usually they take at least like half an episode, maybe. They just like one scene, like boom, okay.
We ran out of time.
Now we're shaking hands and high-fiving. We just got it done,
And anyone who's had any experience with mediation knows that it takes months and years.
All it takes is you got to kidnap somebody, and then you got to give them a swift kick in the butt and take off their mask. That's all it's got to do.
It was very Scooby Doo, I felt, this particular bit.
Yes.
Totally.
Who's the monster under this mask?
Yeah.
Boom. You're human.
Also, if you've been on Titan, would you not have thought of taking the mask off before then? And they go, oh, right, okay, you're not an alien, so we don't need to be tribalistic about it. They could have got conversation well before the Federation turned up.
Well, I was thinking when they first introduced Wen, this character, I'm thinking, wow, this is some new alien species, kind of like the Baul.
Yes.
It kind of reminded me of the Baul, but I was like, wow, cool, new species. And then, oh no, it's just a human.
Well, in a way, wasn't it exactly like the Baul? Because the Baul were wearing suits that covered up that they were like pretty much the same as Saru.
It's putting on a front. I mean, that's
Putting
what it
on
is.
fronts.
They're putting on they're putting the mask on. This is like, we're going to pretend we're completely different. We're very intimidating because we have big ugly heads and lots of eye lights. That's what it is. It's a self-defense mechanism, and it definitely doesn't work towards working with your neighbor and being friendly.
Well, I'm wondering too, is if they've been on Titan, I would imagine that the gravity's different and the amount of oxygen is different. So maybe the helmet was, a breather as well.
Absolutely.
It'd be very interesting to hear the scientists talk about what's it like on Titan and how did this fit in with where they represented it.
Yeah.
It would have gone a long way, though, to have helped the process quickly speed up negotiations if he'd have actually said, oh, by the way, under this helmet, I am actually the same as you.
Yeah.
Maybe
Like,
just a little.
I'm just like you. Here, look at this.
High fives. Yeah. Come on in for a cup of tea and a slice of cake.
I'm a dick just like you are.
Speaking of which, Stamets is on the ship and he's like, there's no one like me. And Adira is like, yeah, I know how that feels.
And that's the first indication that we get of her being other.
Yes.
So
I like Stamets in this episode.
Yeah.
he's kick ass in this episode.
Yeah, he is.
Oh, I love the way they just, it's like, oh, no, let me talk to it because I got, then he starts talking. It's like, hey.
Yeah.
Yo.
Take charge.
It really, what I also enjoyed the fact that once she recognized that they were human, she realized that, oh, okay, so we were looking at them as alien. And a lot of times that happens in real life as well. Once you get a chance to see what you have in common with someone, they cease being a threat.
Yeah.
And she saw that they had common and she understood. I mean, the guy looked pitiful.
Yeah.
It's like, we needed dilithium, all of our shit blew up and we have no way and you have all this stuff. And it's like, well, why you didn't send somebody? We did, bitch. You blew him out of the sky. It's like,
We have it over here with people who can't buy toilet rolls and flour because people have been building houses out of toilet rolls.
Yeah. It really makes you think about stuff like that, doesn't it?
Yeah.
They did that when the pandemic first started here, man. You could not find toilet paper for shit. I mean, it was like,
well, literally it is for shit.
The problem is you don't get the shits with COVID-19.
it was just ridiculous.
Yeah, exactly. I could not figure that out. Yeah, why?
If you need that much toilet roll, your colon is destroyed. You do not need to worry about COVID-19. If you're using 3,000 toilet rolls, you've got a bigger problem, my friend.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, but when that was happening and there was like no toilet on the shelves, like me personally, I did not buy toilet paper. And then I tried to buy toilet paper and there was no toilet paper. And I'm like, oh shit. Let's see. I got napkins from to-go places. Thank God I kept those napkins. No, thank God my neighbor helped me out and she gave me some, but that was like weird.
Why did you use her hair, did you? Did you just grab her clothing off the washing line and just wipe your ass with that?
I just have to say thank God for my neighbor because she gave me a couple of rolls of toilet paper.
Well,
Did you break in?
Right. We didn't have any in our neighborhood, so I ended up having to go to like one of the local Mexican markets, like the Vallarta market, and getting the generic stuff that they had. Let me tell you, my bum was not having it.
Right.
3 shells I've been using.
I'm used to Charmin, Ultra Soft, Ultra Strong.
You got the cushy stuff.
Yeah.
Oh
and
my God.
Then I went to sandpaper. My butthole was screaming.
Well, Jem'Hadar uses the 3 shells. Isn't that what you just said?
Yeah, I did say that, yeah. So you can keep your tissue paper. I've got 3 shells, thank you.
And yeah, you rotate them around.
My bum looks like the beginning of Bonanza.
The captain has a bidet. He doesn't need it.
Yes.
What species is that?
It's a midget with a hose that lives in the water underneath.
Hey, is that how that works?
Can we still say midget? Oh, that's okay. I love this show.
we cannot say
No, we can't say
Okay.
that.
Okay, so it's not a midget. It is a wee person
Wait,
with a
HR.
hose.
Isn't that HR calling?
Oh, great.
You
I
got
thought they
HR.
were listening. I thought they were listening.
Yeah, we call them little people now. We don't call them midgets.
Yeah.
Little people. Oh my God. And HR stands for the hard rearing I'm going to get when I go.
It doesn't need.
Now, one of the Easter eggs is the huge tree at the end. Did you guys realize that the tree was actually in other episodes? So it was referenced by Jean-Luc Picard in the Next Generation episode, The Drumhead and the Game. And in theory, it's also the same tree that was tended by Boothby in the, in the 24th century, and would imply that it existed 100 years before that. So like mid 23rd century.
The BFT, big fucking tree.
Yes, it's huge.
But
That hasn't been pulled down by developers, by the way.
Yeah, go figure.
Yeah, Apple have not bought the land and just tore it up to build a high rise.
Right. Well, I think it's a nice symbol of, especially for Tilly, you know, that all the things that she's lost and this one thing is still there after all this time. That it's like an anchor for her. Mm-hmm.
Well, it's like an anchor for everybody because everyone has a touchstone, so to speak. The one thing you have in common, or anybody who's grew up in a neighborhood, anybody who's went to boot camp, you have a common experience that everyone basically has, and an instant unification of it. So no matter what their background, no matter what time they went to Starfleet, everyone has to go to Starfleet Academy, and everyone sooner or later goes to that tree. So it's a nice, with everything being gone, it's a good feeling to see that that tree is still there, you know.
It's such a nice, touching moment, but then I watched the ready room afterward.
Oh, yeah.
It's just a blue screen. It's not even a tree there. It's literally they were acting to a fucking blue wall.
So Tilly's got her head up against the blue wall.
It's so funny. Oh, my God. I was like, are you serious? That's not even a real, oh, my God. That's so, I just like,
well,
not even
I didn't even think that it was a fake tree. But I mean, I know the beautiful shot with the droney footage coming out at the end, but I'm like, I had no idea it wasn't a real tree. And then I watched the effect. She's just hugging a giant friggin' wall. I'm like,
it was pretty cool.
My God.
The special effects, you couldn't tell.
It's great.
The special effects was
Man.
phenomenal.
But it's like you're going to get a sentimental feel about something that's not real like that. It's like, I got to high five the animators.
Well, hello. We're watching a made up, fantasy series called Star Trek.
Okay, fine. I guess I'm a little sap over here, but I just, sap. Trees and
Speaking
sap.
of feels, total feels, when she said she was a Trill and she had a Trill symbiont in here, Adira. Is it Adara? Adira. The entire time I'm like, oh my God, please be Dax, please be Dax, please be Dax. Oh my God, I so want this to be Dax. It would be Adara Dax.
That would have been cool.
That would be so cool.
Well, but I think they really wanted to spread up. And plus, she was in a total different area. So I'd be curious if they're ever going to do a touchstone on characters that are familiar. Rumor has it that she's going to research what happened to her brother.
Oh, okay.
So we might get some stuff on that. So there's rumors that that's going to be brought up in future
Wait, I'm sorry. Who's researching their brother?
Burnham. Michael's going to research of what happened with Spock.
Okay.
Oh, I thought it was Adira.
No, Michael's going to research what happened to Spock.
That brother.
Cool.
Yeah. So we're actually going to find out in a way. I know they're going to be cautious on how much canon stuff, but they're going to probably touch on some of the things and maybe even use that to introduce the new shows that are coming out, because there's a whole bunch of them coming down the pipe. We have so much Trek coming. It's a good time to be alive if you're a Star Trek fan.
Yeah.
Indeedles.
So it's definitely interesting. It was a nice, touching way, I feel, to end up the episode, is for everyone to have that touchstone, for everyone to go there. And you even look how important that was, because in the Next Generation with Scotty, when he went to the holodeck and he was like, give me the Enterprise, no bloody A, B, C, or D. So it just wanted to be someplace that's familiar,
Absolutely.
So it was a nice way to end the episode.
And it was a very Trek episode. I mean, at the heart of it.
Well, yeah, and it didn't end like there's some giant explosion we have to take care of next week. So it was kind of a peaceful ending to the first two,
with Michael agreeing to be his number one.
Yeah, it had a happy ending. I mean, this show had a happy ending on this episode. It was kind of nice,
like a massage.
Yeah, I like seeing Book fly away into the sunset with his big pussy.
Well, yeah. So what's up with that?
Ben and Book and the Massive Pussy is the new Harry Potter novel.
Harry Potter and the Massive Pussy.
Harry Pussy and the Massive Pussy.
He finally grew up. He finally went to college.
With a Gillette Mach 3, clearly not.
The one song that reaches my mind on this, and I used to say this every time I used to go back to visit the East Coast. And it reminds me of the Beatles song, My Life, In My Life, where the opening lyrics are, there are places I remember all my life, though some had changed. Some forever, not for better. Some are gone and some will remain. All these places had their moments with lovers and friends I still can recall. Some are dead and some are living. And in my life, I love them all. And that, to me, that song really fits on the final scene on that, because some people have friends on the ship and they're still alive, they're still with them, and some are gone. And so that was a good touchstone.
Those lyrics completely encapsulate the whole episode, because
I agree.
The whole episode is from start to finish it's about loss and acceptance and coming to terms with what you have and where you are.
It was done really well, and of course it was directed by the incomparable Mr. Frakes, who does such a good job. He's really an actor's director. He's such a good job he did with this. Unfortunately, we're coming towards an end. I just saw a Jem'Hadar attack cruiser off of our port. I imagine they're coming for you, Mark.
They'll be coming to get me.
Ride's here.
Yeah, I kind of thought so. And I have to talk to you, but the next time you come and visit us, don't have your translocator on, because we were cloaked and they knew where we were. I mean, the whole idea of having a cloaked ship is for people not finding us. And they just might as well have a big foam finger pointing at, there's the ship.
Yeah.
But it was really good seeing you on board. For all of our listeners out there, you haven't checked out the podcast. You got to check out, Mark, go ahead and reveal your podcast stuff again to the listeners.
Yeah, well, firstly, thank you all for having me. It's been a pleasure and an honor. The podcasts you need to look out for is Pic-Hard Talk, and the other one is Disco Fever. And they're all available on thepodstation.co.uk. And if you want to have a mooch around, there's other stuff on there as well. It's also very sexy. But you guys have been wonderful and very pleasant to speak to, even though you're my enemy.
Well,
my enemy, the enemy of my enemy is my friend.
To be rude about it. I mean, yeah.
Always keep your enemies closer, right? Your friends close and your enemies closer.
And your filthy Heathers closer.
And closer and closer.
We could get closer. I mean, I've got some Catcher All White in my room.
I've heard.
It's a trap. It's a trap.
It's a trap.
Mark, his Catcher So White is in his prison pocket. So.
I've heard that.
So you guys out there, we'll have the pod station, the link and everything on all our broadcasts. If you can't wait to look for our links on that, just go ahead and Google the pod station. I guarantee you will not be disappointed. These guys are phenomenal. It's been a great show. We're going to see you again next week. Everyone, please be safe out there. And remember, just don't have a great week, but make it so.
Starfleet Underground, beaming into a podcast feed near you. Log on to our website at starfleetunderground.com and send your comments and questions to thecollective@starfleetunderground.com. Follow us on Twitter at StarfleetUnderG and on Facebook and Instagram, we're Starfleet Underground.